good?
We good.
What's good? What's good? It's DP back with another episode of Listen to DP. We got two of our first guests back on. My boy T.O. Tobin Opurum. We got my boy Devin Bright. Mr. Bright is what they call him nowadays. But yeah, hey, we got a great one. So we talked about a lot of different things on the first time they were on the first pod up here. But now we're coming back with a week 6 recap of the NFL season. Players, coaches, teams, just talking about, what we've seen, what surprised us, what's disappointed us, what players are balling, what players need to get it going. So y'all gonna love this episode. So we're gonna do a little bit of NFL. We're gonna throw some college stuff in there. But yeah, remember, before y'all do anything else, subscribe, hit the alert button, share, and also a big shout out to Mr. Cajun's Daiquiri for the amazing hospitality they give us with the daiquiris. These two fellas, they gonna get some food after, so y'all holler at Mr. Cajun's out here in Foyne, home of the 1999 Cajun Shrimp Bowl. But check it out, we about to start. So the first thing we're gonna start with, we'll do some NFL stuff. We'll go with the teams first, right? So I sent y'all a thing, there's a million different power rankings that come out, right? You got some people that think the Eagles are number one, some people might say the Bills. But right now, the one that we're looking at, we got the Eagles, Bills, Chiefs, Cowboys, Bucks to round out that top 5. Do y'all have a problem with that top 5 of those power rankings right there? Eagles, Bills, Chiefs, Cowboys, Bucks.
I personally don't right now. I think with the Eagles being undefeated, you undefeated until somebody knocks you off, you got to be the number 1 team.
Mm-hmm.
So for its power rankings.
And they look really good. They ain't like they're just playing scrubs. They look great.
They look good. Now, I ain't going to say they played. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not impressed with the way the NFL looks as a whole right now. I don't see a lot of great teams in the league right now. So I feel like their tough competition. They played a good game against Arizona the other day. That was a stiff game. I feel like the Minnesota game, they locked up on D and played great.
Minnesota 4-1 right now.
Yes. So I really look at it from a standpoint that I'm good with that right now. But I think Buffalo looks like Josh Allen looks amazing out there right now. Like, he looks amazing.
Let me tell you one thing. I talked about Josh Allen. Josh Allen's like my front runner for the MVP before the season started. And after them first. But one thing I've noticed about Josh Allen, I don't know if y'all noticed, in the biggest moments of some of the end of the games, he starts to skipping passes and misses passes in big moments.
I have noticed that.
So he is like head and shoulders above everybody in the league except for somebody named Patrick Mahomes, I would say, right? Because your next best quarterback is going to be Rodgers, Brady, and Patrick and Josh Allen are above them now.
You're naming a lot of cats before Lamar Jackson. Yeah. I'm just throwing it out there.
No, and I love it. We don't get to Lamar. We don't get to Lamar. I'm just talking about pure, cues, how we see them. But Josh Allen, I think he got a big week this week because they play the Chiefs, right? But we'll get to all of those individual players. But you were saying you like the Eagles, but the Bills, because I wouldn't have no problem with that. That's kind of like would you take the undefeated Texas team over a 1-loss Alabama team in the playoffs, right? Like, my eyes can see. I don't care about that loss. That team is better.
Exactly. I agree. I feel like if you were to put both of them on the field right now, I still feel like Buffalo is the better team. Even though they've suffered a loss, I feel like Buffalo is the better team. I like the way Philly looks, though. I really love the way Philly looks. And I think it comes down to, do you trust Jalen Hurts in the clutch? And I feel like
he's looked a lot better.
He's looked a lot better this year. Passing the ball and avoiding turnovers. He's protecting the ball. So, yeah, we're going to see.
I think I'm cool with the rankings that we got. If there's one team that you could argue maybe there, maybe not, it's the Bucks. Just because they look shaky on offense, the defense doing what it needs to do. They've had some injuries. I feel like Leonard Fournette is carrying that offense. To be real with you, what I'm saying?
Manning, he came in at 260. He said, that's why I came in big, because I knew I had to put some ones on my back.
He knew he was going to carry that extra weight on his back.
And as much as I can't stand them, you got teams that you can make arguments for, like the Ravens. You can put them there. Unfortunately, the Giants, I can't stand them, but they look good.
They look good.
And I don't know if I'm happier for any player in the league than Saquon for having a bounce back season like he having right now. Me, former running back, I watch RBs all day, so he doing his thing right now. It's been good to watch.
Do you think the change with Brian Daboll coming over is a part of that as well? For them, he coach of the year right now for me. to turn a team like the Giants from where they were into being what 4-1.
They've been talking about him, and then they also been talking about Cowboys coach.
So nobody want to give McCarthy credit. They give Dan Quinn credit. They give Kellen Moore credit. This all Cooper Rush, Dak, but nobody's talking about McCarthy holding the ship together. Because whenever something bad happens, though, whether it's bad timeouts or penalties, they gonna throw shade on him. But you know, they got to give him credit for keeping the ship going the right way to go. To be 4-1 right now with your backup quarterback throwing 100 yards in a game, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
How do y'all feel about the Chiefs?
As long as you got Patty Mahomes, you got a chance. It's the same thing. The Bucs are number 4. They don't look good, but as long as you got Thomas Edward Brady, you got a chance. Because they didn't look good the whole first half of the year when they won the Super Bowl. Right? They look worse than what they look now the year they won the Super Bowl. So, if you got those guys, you got a chance.
You're right. And I think when you watch them, you look at it, you'll see one drive, Brady look like the same old Brady. Then you see another drive, it's like, bro, what's going on out here? So it's like, you know, it's hit or miss with them right now. You're right. They look very
stressing out there.
Yeah. Some issues. He got some other issues we're going to talk about a little down the road, but that's another thing. So on this one, they got the Cowboys in front of the Bucs. The Bucs beat the Cowboys. Do y'all think the Cowboys should be in front of the Bucs since they're trending a little higher? They've been winning with their backup, or should the Bucs be in front of the Cowboys since they both have the Bucs only got one loss as well, right?
Yeah, one loss.
Yeah, so and the Cowboys losses to the Bucs. So
I think people recognize the Cowboys have the scariest defense in the league, and they got playmakers.
What was the score of the Cowboys-Bucs game again?
I can't remember.
It wasn't nothing crazy. It was pretty low scoring. Like
I just remember that offense looked real bad. That's all I remember about that game.
I feel like
that got hurt. Offense looked bad. That's the only thing I remember.
I feel like they didn't score that much.
People recognize that defense is Super Bowl caliber. They got playmakers on the D line, more than one, because it ain't just Parsons. You know what I'm saying? Lawrence, Armstrong, KU boy, he's doing his thing.
Ogizua, like all them guys in the front line.
Dudes at the linebacker position. On the back end, we got boys making plays. Like, that defense, it looks a little bit different than it did last year. Credit to Dan Quinn and the playmakers that they have. But if there's a reason why you would put them over the Bucs, even with that Week 1 loss, it's because of that defense.
Yeah, 100%.
I agree.
So when you look at the Cowboys' defense and you see Diggs doing his thing, Micah doing his thing. What's number 3's name? Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Brown looks good.
And they want to crucify that boy, but he actually played. The last 2 seasons, he actually
like so they're looking good. Like, we'll jump to the Dak stuff. With the defense looking that good, do you come back and just keep running the ball with Dak, or do you be like, I paid you $150 million, bro, make some plays? Like, what do you do? Like, it's obviously Cooper Rush, so you condensing the offense and everything else, and it's working and it's winning. But does your $150 man go out there and throw the 16, 17 passes now? Obviously, he'll throw for a little more than 100 even with that, because you'll let him go down the field. But do you condense that down and just say, it's been working, Dak, be a team player, or do you like, let's go back to kind of what we was doing and hopefully the defense keeps balling?
I think when Dak is at his best, it's because they're running the ball well. And then he can come off to play action plays and all those things and hit the deep ball and all those, you know, the drop downs to the tight end. So you lose that element when you start asking Dak to throw 40, 50, 60 times a game, which he's done. You know what I'm saying? So Zeke ain't the player he used to be, but he's still going to give you 4.5, 5 yards. Cool, we ain't asking for nothing else. He don't have that same burst, but as long as he's doing that, Pollard, you got, you know, every chance he touches the ball, you got a chance to take it. I think that's where you got to lean on it, especially when he's coming back from injury and then, you know, got to get that chemistry back with your teammates. I think you got to lean on the running game.
Yeah, and I went back to real quick. It was 19-3, the Bucs and Cowboys. So, like I said,
the offense looked terrible.
Offense terrible, and defense to hold them. You know what I mean? The 19, and it's good. So no, I could definitely see that. And it's also one of those things like you see the Cowboys trending up, but it's still Brady figuring out how to win big games versus good teams. But
if the score was 19-3, without knowing the stats off the top of my head, I bet our running game looked terrible.
Oh yeah, it was bad.
I bet we didn't run the ball well at all.
Yeah. And that's my biggest thing with, if we looking at kind of like what you were talking about, should we stick to the run with Dak? Because like, I think you have to. I think the main issue that I think people are not realizing, when Dak, like you said, is most successful, the run game is always working. And I think we don't stay dedicated to the run game. I think the first game, when we start off the game, we run the ball a couple plays. Once it starts getting stuff, we become pass happy, you know?
Yeah.
And I think with Rush, he's sticking to it. Now, I will say, the offensive line looks a lot better right now.
That
Like,
is
the
true.
offensive line looks better. They opening holes up, so it's like they got lanes to run in. I would definitely say, too, what a lot of people don't realize and notice, all right, a lot of times when they do get certain things going, a Dak does have positive plays, then you get what? You get the yellow flag, you get the penalty. So you go from having 2nd and 5, 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3 or whatever, to having then what, 2nd and 15 or whatever. So you're back behind the chains again. So I think as far as the offensive line is concerned, I think they playing better. I think there's less penalties right now as well. That's helping them a ton as well. But I really think you got to stick to the run. You have to.
I agree.
What about CD Lamb? How y'all feel about it? You know, I ain't a Cowboy fan, but CD, man, like, I don't know how to describe him as far as like, he's like a 1.5. He's not just a pure 2, but he's not a pure 1. But I feel like he's like right in between, depending on who's guarding him, the game plan. But he dropped too many passes that he should. Like that one on the sideline. Like, bro, just hold on to the ball. And there's been ones where people
early on being the number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
He's just 1 year early. Keep Amari Cooper for another year because you see he doing his thing still. But Amari Cooper's shown he can be a number 1 receiver.
Exactly.
Even if CD ends up with better stats, he garners that attention from the other team's DBs, so CD can go off on their second best DB and do what he's doing there, so the attention's not fully on him.
Exactly.
So I think he's a year early, so he'll make those plays, but still make those mistakes like dropping passes or messing up on a route or whatever the case may be.
I took that wide open one 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That little over route. It's like, bro, like, come on,
Put that in
man.
your pocket, man. I just think with him too, it's lack of concentration at times. That's what I really think it is. With drop balls, you're an NFL receiver, so every NFL receiver can catch the ball. You know, let's just be honest. So I think a lot of times just a lack of concentration with him.
Yeah.
Do I think he has number 1 ability? Yes. I'm like you. I don't think he's all the way there yet. And I think, you know, he's in year what? This is year 3? This year 3 for him?
Yeah.
This year 3 for him. I think he's going to continue to get better.
Yeah.
I think the Cowboys got to continue to move him around. You know, I don't think he can just play singly on the outside. Move him around to the slot, move him to different places. You know, don't give defense the same look all the time with him. And I think he's going to be fine. His run after the catch, man, just get the ball in his hands. I think he's a dog when he got the ball in his hands. You know, but we got to make sure he secure the catch first.
Got you. Let's go back to some of them power rankings. Who's the most disappointing team right now?
Disappointing.
And it don't even got to be like low on the thing, but just thinking about some of the rankings where they are.
The Broncos for me.
I would say Broncos.
They're not the most disappointing team. Russell Wilson's the most disappointing quarterback.
I agree.
That is Russell Wilson. Their team don't look bad. They ain't giving up a lot of points on defense because they ain't games to win, and they're averaging like 11 points on offense. That's Russell Wilson. But you can go with that. But I personally say that's one of the most disappointing players. That boy over there keep trying to say, "Let's ride." Oh, that's still a funny stand.
And that's big.
Bro, that cat hit the. That's right. Bro, shut your ass.
Now they try to say, oh, he's hurt. He got hurt.
But before
that game, he was playing terrible. So it's like, I mean, you look at it, he's playing so bad, it's making you think like, okay, hey, did we make a mistake as the Broncos giving up so much to get him? Yeah. But then when you look at like numbers wise, because people try to say, well, you know, his last year in Seattle, he didn't play that well. Well, he didn't play every game last year. I think he played like 14 games. He was hurt.
And we know they've always had the bad O-line.
Exactly. Always. You know, so and he's learning a new offense. You know, you're learning a whole new offense. You've been in basically the same type of format, same type of offense for so long. It's different, you know, trying to get people to
I just don't see him really like into the game though. You don't see no emotion from him on the side. I feel like he's just kind of like moving around, you know what I mean? But a lot of people have said that, like you see Richard Sherman is really outspoken about him. And a lot of things from his teammate is that he's very standoffish from his teammates and he doesn't gel. Like you know, when we was winning football games with Mangino, everything's good. As soon as you start losing, and they know you lame or whatever, they or you a bad coach, cool. I feel like that's the thing. Okay, Russ, we'll put up with you. You winning, you leading the team. We start losing, and it comes back to not the Channing Crowder, he's a lame dude of like how you get Sierra. But we talking about lame, like, bro, you don't kick it with the fellas. And that's kind of what Channing was talking about as well. But
it's a different dude.
Yeah, and I think that pushes guys off when, like, think about it. Look at Josh Allen, bro. You see him and then they got all that, and you feel like if we go kick it, Josh Allen gonna go kick it with you, bro. Like, not every part, but like, hey, Josh, me and the homies get together, ain't gonna be no crazy bet. I'll pull up. Like, if you be like, hey, Russ, we about to come over here, we ain't doing no drinking, ain't no lace. No, I'm good, man.
Good.
Me, little futurist Sierra, gonna watch a movie. Like, bruh, we in season. We trying to, like, I feel like that's how that would go. Like, we trying to build that camaraderie. So I do know the Broncos, but I feel like that's still a Russell Wilson thing. I think my most disappointing team right now is the Super Bowl champs and the Rams.
I got you.
Just because, like, once again, I know it's hard to come out, but they just look out of whack.
Yeah, they do.
It ain't like they're like playing good and losing. Like, they don't look good. Stafford don't look good. Ramsey been getting his stuff, and then he trying to put out the fake front of I still feel good, but you can tell he's shook. Donald had a good game this game, right? Going back.
He getting triple team.
Yeah, but I said Donald had a good game this game, so he's going to do his thing. We know what Donald's going to do, but then they ain't got no run game. Cooper Kupp still doing what he's doing. Allen Robinson, I thought that was going to be a great pickup. Ain't did nothing. So just across the board.
A lot of people blame that on Stafford, though. He said Stafford,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying, got eyes locked on Kupp every time.
Exactly. So I just feel like that's my disappointing team because you still do. They didn't tell me they lost this, but they got stars across the board still. And I feel like they're very disappointed.
They look very bad.
I'll go to the other side of that because my disappointing team is the Bengals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm thinking that too.
You know, they supposed to be the young team coming up, young QB, young wideout. They got one of the best backs in the game and mixing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would think that they would look better in these games. They've been disappointing this season.
And that was one thing. So that was one thing I talked about. I was like, young boys, young quarterback, young receiver, mixing doing this thing. You got Higgins was a young boy. I was like, I think that was a one-hit wonder for the Bengals. I thought it was a one-hit wonder like last year. Even though I don't think they should look this bad, but I never expected them to get back to a Super Bowl. But so I can see why they're disappointed, but I did not have any expectations.
Bro, the talk all preseason was they got the best wideout group.
Yes, that was a big
everybody said that.
By far,
you know what I'm saying? You coming off the Super Bowl.
Joe looked good.
Joe looked good. You got the back. You got this wide receiver group. You're supposed to be playing better than what you do.
And I know there is a such thing called as a Super Bowl slump when you lose. It's just like we got to do all this just to try and get back there. But even with the losing and winning, you can look good by doing either one. Y'all are losing ugly. Y'all don't look good.
Joe look, when you look at when they show certain things, it's like you look at some of the picks he's thrown, you like, oh, where were you looking at? You know, like he looks bad. They spent their money on the line this year, so you felt like they could finally protect them. And it's just not working out. They still look bad.
Another team, Raiders. The Raiders.
That's not a close game, too, though.
But still like, you got all that. You got Carr. Jacobs been running hard this year like he always run. Devontae. You got Renfro, Waller. Like, bro, you got a lot of firepower and they ain't putting up firepower points. So that's another team that made a lot of moves in the offseason to say we're gonna do this. We're gonna sign Renfro. We're gonna get this guy. We got Waller. We got Tay. And it's just like
that's another team too.
Ugly.
You got a new coach, so you still trying to figure everything out. They're still trying to get everything going. I think they're gonna be fine later on as well. I think that
later on this season?
I think later on this season they're gonna be alright. You think they done? You think
so? AFC what West?
The West hadn't been looking great. I mean, if you look at the Chargers are 3-2. I think what Denver's looking hot garbage. And then you look at it. I think the Raiders are 1-4.
4.
They 1-4. I think they can turn it around, man. I think as things start going on, you get your cohesiveness. They get Waller back. Waller didn't play last night. Yeah. You know, so I think they'll be okay. I mean,
they had a 17-0 lead that you
they blew that game. They threw that game away, man.
It's hard coming back from 1-4.
Yeah.
And doing something.
Especially while we ain't giving up leads and losing close games, and now your confidence. Like, right, we played at KU. We lost a lot of games that blowouts, but we also lost games where even though we was close in the fourth quarter, we looking at each other like, somebody about to fumble. Yeah, like you already know. You look at you just waiting for it. You like, we ain't.
That's the culture.
You literally, I remember being up when the year I was hurt when we were beating Texas Tech, 21-0, wearing the baby blues, bro.
Yeah.
And I was actually in the stands, bro. And I was just looking at the sideline. I was like, these cats don't. Think about it. Up 21-0, and you're like, these cats do not think they gonna win. They know we gonna lose. But because once you start losing, you just get used to losing. Just like when Patrick Mahomes and Brady and boys like that, Kobe's and Jordan, LeBron's. Once you get used to winning, No.
That's a mentality.
Like when you go look at the bet, you be like, oh, Bama's down 14 in the first quarter. But let me pick a live bet because I know they're gonna come back and win, right? You be like, there's no way there. So that's what I think the Raiders are going through. They just keep losing these close games. But last one for a team. Let me see. Let's go through this. Somebody that surprised me. Oh. The Lions, bro. They look so good come out, but they can't win. They do everything just to lose.
I wouldn't bet $1 on the Lions.
Let me tell you the craziest thing. The Lions was the highest scoring team in the league, right?
Points.
So I play in a pick'em league, and that's just literally pick who you gonna win. Ain't no spread. Lions and the Patriots. I picked the Patriots. Then there's like, oh, Mac Jones ain't playing, this and that. I literally switched over to the Lions. I'm like, they the highest scoring team in the league. Patriots probably ain't gonna score too many points. Lions scored 0, bro. Yeah. They be ticking me off. But once again, a team that knows how to lose knows how to lose.
Nice facts.
Find a way. And
that's unfortunate because I like that coach too.
Yeah, I do too.
I feel like he really coaching out there.
Yeah, he does, man. And the emotion that he puts in. You can tell the guys really like him. You tell they want to play for him. But their defense is letting them down too. You know, I feel like they've been giving up. And I hate that for Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn being at DC. But like, they've been looking horrible on defense. And then on offense, they're scoring points, but still finding ways to lose those games. Like you said, we talked about culture. It's a losing culture over there. So, yeah, they're gonna find a way to give a game away.
Okay, let's talk about some players. Who you like at quarterback? Who's your number 1 Q in the league right now?
Number 1?
Yeah, and right now with the league, it looks like they were like, okay, you got to start a team right now through the first, 5 weeks we done seen? Mm-hmm. First 5 weeks. They be like, hey, you got a quarterback to pick.
I love the way, I'm going to say Mahomes, even though I love the way Josh Allen is looking, I'm going to say Mahomes. And the reason I'm going to say Mahomes is because I'm starting to see that growth. And what I mean when I say that is, I think they got so used to those deep down the field of Tyreek, those splash plays, and now that teams are kind of trying to take that away. I'm loving his patience now. Mm-hmm. He's beginning to take the dump off. He's beginning to take the little dink and dunk. He's beginning to take that. And so I'm loving his progression. So instead of seeing these 3-4 play drives, now you're seeing longer drives from them. You're seeing him be patient. And so I love that progression. Now he can still improvise. Now you add that brain with the improvisation and all that. I feel like that he's still the best guy in the league right now.
Got you. Who you taking?
I mean, to me, there's really only 3 names to pick between. You got Mahomes, Allen, and Lamar Jackson.
Exactly.
I gotta go with Josh Allen, bro. If I was starting the team and I had to pick one quarterback, the dynamicness of his arm and his legs,
bro. That dude is big.
You know he be taking hits, bro.
He be delivering spins.
He's bigger than a lot of these these linebackers. That's it.
He was like 250, I think.
Yeah,
like 240, 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, but the difference between those 3 is small.
It's very small.
It's real small.
It's
So I don't think you can go wrong with picking any of those 3 QBs.
And then when you look at Lamar, he's also top 10 in rushing.
Yeah, bro.
Which is crazy. Like, it's crazy. Man. So,
I think he's doing the most with the least amount.
Yes, I agree. And he's never had a lot. That's when people try to down talk Lamar, and you look at it, right? We can go down a list of all these teams, and we can say Josh Allen has number 1. Mm-hmm. All right, we can look at exactly. We can look at with Mahomes. He has Kelsey. You know what I'm saying? He has number 1 in Hill. When you look at Lamar, like
and you got Andy Reid. That's a bigger part than anything. Is those play calls.
Exactly. You got Mark Andrews and Harbaugh though.
Yeah, that's true. You know I feel like he don't have a number 1 guy on the outside.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so.
But they're getting better. Bateman's getting better. Duvernay's playing good this year, but still, he ain't got that guy that we traditionally see as what a number 1 would be. Yeah. His number 1 is by far the tight end and all that. But and I just hate how they be doing Lamar, giving him all to do. I'm taller than all Lamar's receivers. If you know your quarterback in the past has had throwing accuracy issues, when you give him bigger targets, you got 4 DPs. Like, good Lord, you got an oversized tight end that's a monster. But like, give that man, like, draft somebody that is 6'3". And just got the wingspan.
Yeah.
Try and go do whatever you got to do to get A.J. Brown or somebody. But like I said, Lamar's impressive with like the type of guys he has on his team. Because they're run heavy, obviously. But you still got to throw the ball in this league. And you got guys that are all 5'10" and 5'11" around him. So it's crazy to see that, he ain't accurate. But he got dang near probably the smallest receiving corner in the league.
No, that's true.
Like by far. But I would probably right now. I like Allen, but I'd probably just only reason why I would take Mahomes is just because he continues to beat Josh Allen, like right. Yeah. That's the only, like literally. If they hadn't played each other ever, and I haven't seen Mahomes just keep beating this man, I'd be like, oh, but not by far, but like by a little margin, like dude's running, his confidence. I feel like he's even better. And I'm not saying Mahomes not a leader, but I see more leadership qualities in Dog in Josh Allen. Like, dude will even get a little dirty. He'll get up and push his head into the dirt, right? When Mahomes, y'all seen when he threw the touchdown, whatever, and he was screaming on the sideline, I'm here, I'm here. Yeah. They even make memes about him, like in a Kermit voice. Like, there's no, like, it's like, yeah, you threw a touchdown, but bro, shut up. Nobody. Like, I feel like Allen can intimidate somebody, like, as a man. Like, and I'm not saying Mahomes can't, but just there's some qualities I like about Allen that he shows. But I gotta take Mahomes until Allen start beating him. And best thing for us is Allen and Mahomes play this week. So we get to see if Allen can get over that hump. And I actually
is it in?
I think it's in Kansas City, maybe.
Okay.
But
that's gonna play a big factor.
But I actually think I took the Bills in that one just because of. I just think they're a better team. Without Tyreek Hill, because right, they don't win without Tyreek Hill last year, catching the ball and running through everybody on that one. But I think the Bills win this year. Lamar, Dog. Since we're on quarterback and all that, Lamar Jackson situation. He's literally playing like Russian roulette / poker / whatever other games at the casino all combined. When you the type of player he is and the money he's going for, that's like, hey, bro, you get to do this. There's $1 million over there, but you got to do the bike or the motorcycle over the shark pit. And if you go in, you're dead. And that's his thing. If you get hit one wrong way and mess up a leg or an ankle, that 300 you looking at is still, you still gonna get over 2, but it's gonna be 2, and then that guarantee gonna go to 120 and not 250 or whatever it may be. So how y'all feel about how him and his mom and the Ravens have all handled that situation?
I think regardless of how things shake out, I think even if he get hurt, he get paid.
He getting paid.
Like everything he's done in his career so far and how he's looked up to this point. You think of a similar situation like Dak betting on himself. Took a year to get healthy, came back, paid. You know what I'm saying?
And I think he gets paid, but the thing about it is the reason, the whole holdup that they had, they said, was the guaranteed money. Right? So does that change yes, you're still going to get the $300 million contract, but you just had the injury, so now the guarantee goes from $250, you just had an injury and missed the last 6 games, to like $180, because bro, how can we give you all that guaranteed when you just got hurt?
The longer they wait, the more.
But no, it's the same thing.
You look at the money that Russell Wilson got.
Dak showed us.
Look at the money that Russell Wilson got. How's he playing? Look at the money that Kyler Murray got. How's he playing? Lamar playing 10 times better than both of them.
He is.
So he got to get paid more than both of them.
And it's so crazy that the Ravens did that, and I just know it's because I already know why they did it. It's simply because he wants the Deshaun Watson contract. And they're looking at it like it's not us not want to give you a big contract, but there's only one outlier right now having that contract. It's not that we don't want the $40 million or $45 million. It's that you want the fully guaranteed. And it's only one quarterback, and his situation was very, very, very unique. In the league officials, the owners actually came out against, like, why would y'all do that, Browns, and set that market that way? Because now our quarterbacks are going to want that as well.
I'm going to tell you another reason why they're hesitant to do it, right? Let's look at the history of the Ravens, right? Let's look at Joe Flacco. Look at when Joe Flacco won that Super Bowl, what did he do? He got paid. And once he got paid, they didn't have, it was garbage juice, and they didn't have money to pay other positions, right? So a lot of guys left the free agency. They had to start back from youth. You know, they had to start back in the draft. They always drafted well. So they felt like, hey, well, we're going to draft well. We're going to still put players around him. But they was trash. And if you look at it, after he got paid, they won Super Bowl, I believe, in 2013. I believe 2015 they missed the playoffs. 2016 they missed the playoffs, I think. They missed the playoffs like 3 straight seasons.
The one
almost.
good thing though about what you're saying there is though, Joe Flacco wasn't unique in the offense though. You built a whole offense around somebody, right? That's like me going and getting car parts for a Maserati, and then somebody jacking the price up on me $10,000 and be like, I got you. This is only fit in the Maserati, and the difference too is. We just talked about it. He don't got the coldest receivers, so it ain't like you're having to try and keep Anquan Bolden or somebody. It's just like we'll just go get some other good receivers. Like it ain't like he's playing with a Randy Moss right now. So that's the one thing that's in his favor. He's like, you ain't gotta give me no guys because you ain't gave me. Like I said, I love Prochet, I love Duvernay, but there's a lot of those guys in the league.
Right, that makes it tough when you start paying people based off winning because winning's a whole team accolade. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody in their right mind thought Joe Flacco was the best QB in the league.
No.
Or even top 3 or 4 or 5 in the league, but you still let him get paid because you won.
And
you can't just judge it off of the team winning and giving money to the
when he got the best defense ever.
Exactly. And he was having average seasons. He was balling in the playoffs. They was calling him Playoff Joe. You know what I'm saying? He was balling in the playoffs. So if you look at it, I think that, of course, if we had to compare, we know Lamar Jackson's a whole different animal than Joe Flacco. And I'm looking at the Ravens, if I'm him, I'm looking like, okay, what else do I have to do?
I think the Ravens, they're going to fork it up because you see the interest, and here Miami going to take it. Like you already, think about Lamar Jackson with Tyreek Hill, Waddle, first of all, they already got the fastest skills. Then you add that quarterback. And mind you, his arm is stronger than Tua. And he's more accurate and maybe in the deep ball range because he has a stronger arm. Tua's very accurate underneath. Lamar can hit those, but deep ball, Lamar is pretty accurate because he's stronger. Tua got to wind up.
You ain't over 45. You ain't overthrowing Waddle and Hill. You ain't overthrowing.
Bro, think about that, bro.
Yeah, so
I actually I love him. I would love, and he would be back in Florida, bro. I might be a Miami fan if he went down there. But next we'll go to running backs. Who y'all got running backs?
I don't think it's close right now. I think it's Saquon.
Yeah,
I don't think it's close.
What about Chubb? Chubb up there, Tony.
Chubb is actually leading rusher.
I like Saquon. I like Chubb.
I got the stats up right here. You got Chubb at 593, Saquon at 533.
Yeah.
What's the difference in yards per carry?
I'm about to try and find it.
I think so, which is impressive.
Yeah, both of them over 5.
Let me see.
I think Saquon is a guy too, though, that you can use in the pass game as well. So you can. He's like that Swiss Army knife type cat, and also with Chubb wake up getting 100. Like he's gonna get 100 up. But also you have Kareem Hunt they use in the pass game. So I like
that.
I like Barkley a lot more. And I love the fact that he's come back.
You know what's crazy about that? I don't know who his backup is. I have no clue who Saquon.
5.5 for Saquon. 6.2 for Chubb. Chubb told that thing. Let me tell you one thing. One thing about Saquon that I don't like.
For his size, he dances too much.
It's not even that. Like he does do that, and obviously the injury. But those are that. A lot of his yards he's not a consistent back. Like he'll get the 60-yard run every game and then he'll get to 90, but you'll literally see, and obviously that's how people get yards, but consistently he will average 12 carries for 33 yards and then break off the 70-yard run. And I feel like, and that's a part of football, you're not going to have 10, but like that's the one thing that through his career I've noticed a lot is if he don't hit you for a 50-yard run in the game, it is the 3.2 yards a carry until that where I feel like Saquon, I mean Chubb is like a boom, a consistent back. Now he's a home run hitter, but that comes back to the dancing because he wants to dance to hit the big one so many times.
I think part of that is he has Daniel Jones at QB. So if you look at it, if I'm gonna worry about Daniel Jones, I'm gonna worry about Saquon Barkley. Teams are always gonna try to take away that number one guy. I think if you look at it, if you look at the history of the game, that's kind of how Barry Sanders was too.
But he had the worst O-line.
He did. He did. You're right.
But obviously it was Barry dancing, but that was terrible. But but I understand what you're saying. But that's one of my critiques on Saquon. If you go, especially if you play fantasy, right, and you know all type of random stats if you bet on games or fantasy. Saquon would literally have 14 carries for 13 yards, and then in the game with 16 carries for 120 yards. And they'd be like, Saquon ball. like, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be like weird when you watch it, you know, sometimes. Like, it's kind of like when you watch a game, you be like, no, he didn't ball. He happened to break off 2 big runs. And then you'll see somebody like Zeke end up getting, back in the day, 105, but be like, no, but it was 5 on 18 carries, and it was just like, there was no stopping him. Every time he got the ball, it was 2 plays, first down, 2 plays, first down. So it's just different styles, but that was always my one little critique about him, is that he will average very little on so many runs, but then obviously he's a home run type of guy.
And when you look at Henry in Tennessee as well, like I think that happens with him sometimes too. I think early on in the game, he's kind of getting stonewalled here and there, and then as the game wear on, you get tired. You get tired of hitting that big guy. You know, you get tired of hitting that dude. You know, so when you look at it, he ends up with 100 yards a lot too, but he gets a lot of carries as well.
I was gonna say he's got like 50 more carries than those backs that we just named.
Yeah,
already.
Crazy.
After just coming back off the injury, already got almost double A carries.
Let me tell you another thing I'm looking at, how much the NFL is a wide receiver league. Bro, listen to this. Nick Chubb, obviously know him, Saquon, Josh Jacobs, Miles Sanders, Damian Pierce, Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, Jeff Wilson, Lamar Jackson. Like, there's good guys, but it's just like the NFL ain't stacked with names at running back no more, right? And even some of the bigger names are like more towards the bottom of the list. You get like Rashard Penny's, Cordell Patterson, Jamal Williams. Like back in the day, it was Barry, Emmett, LT. It was running. Now everybody's a wide receiver, right? Like you literally when you play like fantasy football and pick, you like got 2 good like elite running backs to pick from, and then it get hard.
You really got to look at the backs that contribute in more ways.
Exactly, it's more
and cats like that, like the cats who get involved in the passing game more, which is a value goes with. And I think that might be why I put Saquon up there, because I know what he does in the passing game.
Yeah, he does.
You know what I'm saying? So between Chubb and Barkley, I'm good either way.
Yeah.
But I look into that too.
I definitely feel that. Wide outs. Who's y'all's guy at wide out? Number 1 guy.
I got Diggs, bro.
I'm not mad at that.
As much as, and don't get me wrong, it's not everybody's guy is Cooper Kupp. Love Cooper Kupp. He's nice. He's a dog. But I feel like Stephon Diggs is just so saucy out there, bro. And it's not only that, they got other weapons that he can throw to. When you look at Stafford, even though he has other guys, who's his number 1 guy? He's always going to Kupp. Whereas I feel like with Josh Allen, there's so many different ways they can go, and Diggs is still getting his no matter what. Like, I just feel like he's that guy right now. I think it's a toss-up at wide out, but I really love Diggs.
I'm not mad at that.
Who you got?
I got Jefferson. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Who I call all summer?
Yeah.
He leading the league in receiving. But check this out. Yeah. He leading the league in receiving, and he had a game with 47 yards and backdoor with a 14-yard game.
Because the Eagles game, he got
14 yards, bro.
Yeah.
And he's still leading the league in receiving. 14 and a 47 back-to-back.
It was a long season, though.
Diggs' lowest receiving yard was 62 and 74. Jefferson had a 14 and a 47. And we know how much Cooper Kupp, which he's still number 2, is targeted and looked at. Diggs has still got, like I said, you still got Dalvin running the ball. Kirk might be good. 1 week might be good.
The next
week and then terrible. You got Adam, there's still a guy that's a viable target. So like I said, I called it. I kept saying, this is going to be Jefferson's year. Like, dude is a dog.
I do like seeing Kupp being productive, even when they offense ain't playing well.
Yep, he's still gonna do
You
that.
had dudes come out all years like top 5 lists, and Kupp was at like 6, 7. You know what I'm saying? Dudes that was saying, even in no disrespect to Odell, but dudes were like, Odell is the best receiver in the league. Bro, you watch Kupp, dudes got routes. You seen him you saw him get loose on the Cowboys. Dude who's not fast got loose. Got good hands, reliable.
First the corner that's been playing good this year too.
Out of there, caught that pass, that one hand. First of all, I will give. If you look at it, you take that one play away.
That offense did nothing.
They did nothing. They had that, and they had the deep ball to the receiver that was on Diggs as well. But like they really didn't do anything that game. But if you go through that play, right, and you rewind that play back, he catches with that one hand, and he's out.
He turned straight up on that field.
And he a 4'6" guy.
Yes. Was no catching it. And
game speed different.
That game speed hit different, man. And I think he's definitely I think for me, it's those two. It's Diggs and Cup. I still like Tate. I still think Devontae Adams is still that guy.
No, for sure.
But I feel like, man, it's those top two.
Jefferson, Diggs,
like
Cup, they all get many targets.
Yeah.
But I feel like Cup's targets are a lot of forced targets. Whereas Jefferson and Diggs kind of they'll get their targets, but it's in a
flow of the game.
Where other receivers are still involved. I feel like it's only Cup involved and he still got to get open. He's getting double because they know they're only throwing him the ball.
So around the offense enough that he's getting different looks. You're not really seeing Jefferson in the slot like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you can move Cup in and out of there. So
and like I said, I love that Cup gets in there and blocks his butt off. He gets handoffs. So like I said, no, after mine, it wasn't that it was like, oh, he's not talented enough. It's like, let me see you do it again. Right? And he's showing us again that don't let me go ahead and get another 200-yard game here, 200. I might be up for another Triple Crown. Because he probably going to let me see.
He may get it.
He got the most catches, I believe. Yeah, he's got the most catches right now.
Yeah.
Second in yards. I don't know about you.
Stafford not playing great.
Yeah. And they have to play behind
the league in picks.
Yeah, he is. I think he is.
The only Tay is above him, and some tight ends are above Cup. But even with that, with Tay, how y'all feeling about Tay? Like obviously Tay's still gonna do Tay, but
new system,
new
environment.
Carr not trust. Like I felt like he trusted him a little more last night, throwing something up, and he got some pass interferences. But it's like, bro, you got to do that more, bro. They doing that with Cup and everybody else, bro. Y'all got this chemistry. That's my college. Boy, throw him the ball, bro. Did you not see what Rodgers was doing? Throw that man the ball.
I think it's some days this guy still continue to work out. You know, I think they play together in college, but you still need that pro wave length. You still need that. I think he's still a top 5 guy easily.
For sure.
Easily.
Like I said,
I don't care if he had a bad season.
Like I said, but even with that, it's still like stats is stats. But you watched the Chiefs game yesterday. Like, even though Justin Jefferson has the most yards, Cooper Kupp got the second most. If we get the same quarterback, the same team, the same offense, I'm still taking Tate first. Yeah. Some people are just having better seasons. Like Jordan didn't win the scoring title every year. Yeah. Didn't mean somebody else was a better scorer than him, right? So I like what I've seen. But like I said, we brought the name up. Tate, you also seeing the frustration, right? They 1-4. He used to winning. He used to losing 2 games, 3 games, 4 tops in a year, right? He used to every time there's a situation that pops up. Aaron Rodgers is looking my way. I'm going to make the play. He's knowing, hey, that me and the quarterback, me and the other wide receivers were on the same page. You see them running into each other. He caught the ball, but a little bobble didn't get in. Got some PIs that helped the team, but could have been catches. And even with all that, he still have 124 yards and 2 tubs.
3 catches?
Yeah, like
4 catches?
Some tubs. But you see at the end of the game, not only the push before that, the helmet slam, he was on the bench pissed, and then that led to the push. So you can definitely see the frustration there, and he had already voiced that before this week.
Yeah.
So, like, I was talking about this with somebody else. Is the $28 million better than the 32 if you're still happy and you're making plays, or is it the 32 once you start getting into such high? It's difference between 1 and 10, 1 and 20, but is overall the contract $140 million better than 152 over a 6-year period? If I know I'm gonna still be happy, still be winning, like
taking money.
No. So there's nothing wrong with it though.
The bread is a big thing, but then we look at this too, right? As great as Aaron Rodgers is, have we ever heard anybody say that he's just a great teammate?
Nobody likes Rodgers as a person, a teammate.
That's 1. 2, if you had the opportunity to live, and don't get me wrong, it's 17, 18 weeks of a season.
No, man. I don't care if it was a month.
Green Bay,
living in Wisconsin for a month.
That matters.
It matters. And he's from the West Coast.
People choose colleges over where they're located all the time.
Yeah. And so I'm looking at it. Frustration, of course, is because 1, they're losing. 2, he's now he's the big addition. He's the face of the team now. I think the push aspect of it, I like it and hate it at the same time. And here's why I like it. not the push itself, but I like to see a player that cares, right?
You more not the push. You're more you like the frustration that he's showing that there.
I like
he got his bread. I don't care. We lose, I got the bread. You more
paid
about
regardless. You know what I'm saying? I like the fact that he cares. I like the fact that he's frustrated and he's showing you that he wants to win. You know what I'm saying? I see that in him, and I think other guys around him will see that, and they will adapt to that passion. Now, as far as the actual push, when you look at it, bro, that man do that to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you devote that man for no reason. Like,
let me tell you what I got a problem with. I got a problem with Buddy not laying down there like this. I'll still be in the stadium right now. Like, my neck is hurt, bro. But he got up and went to the hospital. They would have had me on one of them stretchers, boy.
He gonna get paid.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. He gonna get that check, but I would have got that super check, bro. They would have had to cut my shirt down the middle, a heart beating fast, my neck. Oh, bro. Like, I always wish, bro, that I'm in a situation where I get to do food, bro. Bro, I always wish, like, somebody literally didn't put the sign down and I slipped in Walmart. Bro, that mother gonna be DP Mart by the time they get me up out there and they settle. I was like, no, I said, no, I'm like, stay down. He got up right away. Now you can't even say, my back, my neck, you gonna get that 50. I'm gonna need 200 off of how I'm gonna act on the ground. But yeah, nah, man, I hate seeing that for the simple fact of when you know somebody's, I can't say no, but when you've seen somebody's character from the outside, soft-spoken guy, don't talk much mess. The first time I ever seen Tay even talk was on the pivot. And he finally talked, and he was talking this shit, and I was like, bro, thank you, because you're too humble for me to be as good as you are. I'm glad you finally touched your shit. But he did it respectfully in a humble way still. So just to see that and to like somebody like that and to know that from what I'm seeing that's outside of their character, like we never seen the Packers lost games. They lost playoff games they should have won. To never see him get that visibly up, frustrated, slamming the helmet, being mad like that on the bench, to push somebody, it sucks to see because, you know, he's not a role model for me, but he's a role model for somebody. But I really like him, like as a player and a person, because that's kind of the guys I try to steer for that to happen to him in front of everybody. Like it just sucks. You like, damn, not you, Tay. Like don't let the situation get you out of who you are.
Yeah, character. Yeah.
But we took plenty of L's. We ain't pushed nobody out. Probably because we was used to the L's. We was just like, hey, what club we in? Boys on the sideline trying to figure out where we was going.
Nah, I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta control. It's hard because we on the field in the midst of everything. You already pissed off in the game, so it's hard to tell a man in that situation you need to control your emotion. Don't put your hands on dude. And it kind of looked like a bang thing. Like I don't know if he
literally like it feel like he crossed his face and he's just there. And like I said, he knew it was somebody. It's not like he didn't know, but it wasn't like he seen him and was tracking him. And it was literally just. I feel like he was walking kind of like with his head down, and Buddy crossed him and he pushed him, so he knew it was a person.
If old dude had said excuse me first, then maybe it would have been the issue.
But it wasn't like you seen him like kind of fall on him and he just pushed him. Like I said, the push was wrong. He apologized regardless if people like it or not, and he went to the media.
We live in a society where people don't even like apologies.
I say regardless of that.
For, and then they be like, only reason you did is because
you asked for it.
But then if I didn't do it, like you didn't apologize. So
every time.
But so that's one situation that was on the field, off the field. So it was an on the field, off the field issue. Now another big off the field thing is what we talked about with Tom Brady, right? It was like 11 days off during training camp. So we already knew something was big because Brady ain't leaving one day in training camp, let alone 11 after you were tired to come back and then to miss that much time and chemistry with a new head coach and blah, 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 and everything that's going on with that. So you find out that the divorce stuff is going on, right? Him and Giselle. So the big question is that a lot of people have been talking about is who's right? Is it Brady for still playing, following his passion? Is it her for wanting her husband to be around with the kids, her, the family? Because they say, well, she was the #1 highest paid supermodel. She put a lot of stuff on the back burner because Brady was in the league. So she was, I'm going to do the kids stuff while you do yours. So how y'all feel about the whole kind of situation, breaking it down? Like if it was like, even like not, because we ain't in their household, we ain't talking with them and knowing what's going on, but like if it's you, like if you were Tom in a situation, what do you do?
Man, let's get personal. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
I mean, you married, right? How long you been with your wife? Like, how long have you known her, been dating her, whatever?
2012.
All right, so you've been with her a good amount of time. You've been with your lady how long?
Since freshman year of college.
Been with my lady since 2005, high school, whatever, right?
Big single shooter.
The number one thing, right, in any relationship they tell you all the time, whether you married, relationship, whatever, is compromise, right? You hear it all the time. You hear that, the number one thing, you gotta be able to talk, communicate, compromise, right? When you look at it, and I'm just be honest, and I may, piss some of our female viewers off, I feel like we as men compromise way more than women do, right?
Yeah.
I feel like we do a lot. In your relationship, do you feel like you compromise a lot? If you had to throw a percentage on it. If you had to put a percentage on it.
I'm sitting down there. I love you,
just keep it going.
I'm a nod. Just blur
I'm gonna be honest.
blur his facial expressions out.
I know my wife gonna watch this, babe. You know I compromise way more than you do, and I love you to death. You know what I'm saying? And I do it because I love you.
How long y'all been married?
We've been married for 8 years.
See, you 8, he only on 2.
Oh, yeah.
He like, I'm trying to make sure this locked in.
But I look at it from a standpoint of this, right? Me personally, I know I compromise for sure to make my wife happy, right? But I also know that, hey, sometimes I need that one thing. Give me that one thing that I love. I'm gonna compromise everything else. We can go to where you want to eat. I'm gonna go with you to the mall. I'm gonna go do all this. Sunday, I need my football. I need my basketball. Just give me my time, right?
Yeah.
And so for Brady, I look at it like this, right? Football is his one thing. That's his thing. Like, we know that that's his passion. That's what he's ingrained in. That's him. Now, do I feel like his wife is looking at it like, hey, this isn't just 18, 20 weeks type thing? Then you got the off season, you train, then you got this and you got that. I get it, and I understand that part. But I look at it for Brady like that's his thing.
Yeah.
Right? You got this window. This is his window. He's going to be there for the children after he's retired. He's going to be there for all the other little things after he's retired. This is his thing. And I feel like I see it. I'm a man, so I see it from his side, and I look at it like this is his thing. Yeah. And he wants to be able to say, hey, let me keep playing and let me keep enjoying this until I hang it up.
And it's like, you're not asking Brady to quit a job.
Exactly.
You're asking him to quit his passion.
His passion.
That's and it's a weird situation because outside of sports, there's nothing else that you have to quit at a certain age. Mm-hmm. Sports is the only thing that retires you without you wanting to retire from it, right? So I think it's weird, the situation they're in, because he's getting older and older, but he's like, but I'm still playing he just played the Chiefs and threw for 385 yards and like 6 touchdowns.
Right. Exactly.
So whatever he did is just like, I'm trying to do something that I love for as long as possible because I know I only have one.
Yes.
2 more maybe.
Yes.
Like, this is probably the last one. And it's weird because it's like, as a woman, right, we know they like the security, we like the comfort and all that. But her situation is like, bro, I got all the security. Mm-hmm. I've been comfortable before I met you. I've been more comfortable than you can even be comfortable. Mm-hmm. So for her, it's like, Tom, I don't need that. I just need you, right? That's kind of probably what her thing is. But Tom is like, as a person is, I need you too, but you don't get the best Tom if I'm not happy. Because I'm not happy if I'm not doing what I love to do when I can do it, because now I'm regretting and resenting you because it's like I should be out there right now. Because think about it, it's football season. How long after you got done playing ball did it take for you to just like get back into like, okay, I can watch football? Like a lot of guys, we look at it and be like, bro, I don't want to watch that shit no more. Yeah. Right? And they had to retire. Yeah. So imagine
like 2 years.
Right, 2 years, and you didn't have an opportunity to stay there. So imagine having the opportunity to stay there, and you just had your best career, one of your best years ever of your profession, and your wife be like, now stay home. And if it took you 2 years to watch the game, after the game didn't want you, but you're like, I'm still one of the best to do it and can't do it, think about the resentment there. Right? I got done playing ball and this and that, and I just didn't love it the same to watch it, so I watch a little bit of this. Even for me, I watch the 325 game. I golf most of the Sundays. I train in the morning. I don't watch nothing but sometimes the 7 o'clock game if it's a nice game. I don't watch a lot of NFL football unless I just happen to not go golfing that day. So a lot of people, when they're done, have the resentment of leaving the game because the game didn't want me or it didn't end the way I wanted to.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being in the league for 20 years and I have probably my second best year ever and somebody be like, don't play no more.
Yeah.
Like,
You done.
what? That's like me doing my business right now, right? And let's say I average $50,000 a year, and then this year I make $100,000. And be like, hey, you think you can stop doing that because you just to make that 100, you spent a lot of time, and you're like, but the trajectory, like, so it's super hard, right? My girl don't make $150 million a year like you do, and I don't make whatever millions Brady make. But I can see from both sides because I know human, and we all know women, right? Of like what they would want. Yeah. But for a man, like it's more about that passion of because of how society put it of like what am I worth? Yeah. What is my passion? What am I providing? Like a woman, right? That's why we see more stay-at-home moms, not just because of the nurturing, because that's just society. You can stay home, you can nurture, you can do all that. Like Chris Rock said. Or Chris Rock or DL who? And dogs. Men were brought up on what can you provide. So for Brady, it's like, bro, all I knew was grind. Now you want me to just, I don't care how much money I got. Yeah. I got something left in me over there, so it's kind of tough to stop doing that.
So the perspective I have is a little bit different because the disclaimers that we got to put out there is that we not in their household, so we know what's going on.
Yeah, like I said, we ain't that.
We also know that celebrity marriage and relationships kind of operate under different rules. You know what I'm saying? True. But just kind of looking at the situation as a whole, and you mentioned the word, compromise and sacrifice, and you got to be selfless when you're doing these marriages. True. And I would agree with y'all if this was 24-year-old ringless Brady. He never accomplished anything and is trying to build a name for himself and get to a part in his career that he's never reached before. But you retired wanting to spend more time with your family, wife, and all those different things, and come back for what? Because if your whole thing in marriage is to be selfless, to come back and play another season is a purely selfish decision. Gotcha. Because your family doesn't need more money. Yep. They need your time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They need you winning one more ring changes nothing in people's opinion of you. Not literally, it's not gonna change the opinion of one person.
If you didn't go to Tampa, him winning in Tampa was the only thing that he changed was Brady now moved, but not in front of any other player. He was already there. It was the Brady Belichick. That's the only thing that changed.
And that's we already know now.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's the only thing.
You can cut his career in half.
He's got 2 Hall of Fame careers. Like that's the type of career that we're talking about. So if this is somebody trying to break into the league, trying to win a position, trying to do something, I would agree. But the fact that you're already at the top of this mountain, there's nothing left for him to prove to anybody but himself. So I feel like for him to come out of retirement that soon, and people were hyped, we got unfinished business, and that's cool and all, but it was a purely selfish decision. Yeah, it was. And of course, the celebrities operating under different rules, that's causes for divorce or whatever the case may be for Giselle. I don't agree with that. Yeah. But if she were frustrated, I can see why. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I definitely see why she would be frustrated. Think about this. We play ball and everything. Think about the sacrifices our significant others have to make for us to play ball. You know what I'm saying?
Like 21 years of pro
ball, college ball, moving to different cities. I mean, he moved once, but moving to different cities, the time crunch, the schedule, the off-season schedule, and there's sacrifices that they have to make. So she's probably made a lot of sacrifices for some odd years.
She made the ultimate one. I was number one in my profession.
And he came back.
And on top of that, I will say it is to her credit as well. The word is too, when he retires, he's going into broadcasting.
No, I was about to bring that up.
The time they put into that as well is a lot of time. Because you got to research, do all that stuff as well. Yeah. So,
but I think you still get to be at the crib more at night and do some things.
True.
That was one of my things is, I think what made her mad was like, okay, we didn't ask you even not to do nothing. You had you got a $375 million deal to broadcast. So at least when you're done with broadcasting, there's nothing in the offseason when you're doing broadcasting. Exactly. So we can do your broadcasting on the season, but you'll move around, do that, but you'll be home every night. And then when you go travel, you travel. But then there's an end. There's not now I got to go train every day in the offseason. Yeah. So I think that could be a thing because it's like, but you had the layup to the dunk now.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, we didn't ask you not to do anything, Tom.
Yeah.
That could be, once again, we're not there, but I think that kind of made some little salt in the wound when you got $375 million deal to still be around football. You can still take care of the family. You're making more here than you even was making in football. So I think that could, like, and without that, it's kind of like, well, he don't want to just sit in the house. Like, we ain't asking you to. You got something right here you can do.
And you got to think of the conversation that they had that led to him retiring in the first place. Like, what was that conversation
What
like?
promises were made?
What promises were made? You
True.
know, you about to spend more time with the kids.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm worried about you taking these hits. I don't want you to get hurt. You're not 25 years old anymore. And all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make these promises. And in a matter of, what, a month? 2 months?
Right back at it.
Right back. So
And-
you got to think of like things like that.
I'm not in their household once again, but I believe she found out through the media.
Oh, no.
And the reason why I say that because remember,
Yeah,
just like it got leaked about the retirement.
Yeah.
I think somebody said it again, kind of like putting it out there, like, "Hey, he coming back."
Yeah.
First time I saw was on his Instagram.
Yeah, but I feel like somebody, like, once again, you know, I be doing all these videos and research and stuff. I feel like somebody was like, yes, he said it, but I think they was like in the inner circle. They were talking about it, but then it kind of got back to her. Like, he's talking like, kind of like, yeah, you know, I don't know. All while have already talked to Byron Leftwich. You're like, bro, I'm back. I'm just kind of smoothing it over. And once again, I don't know, but I heard like that could be something. So this whole time, you knew you was coming back.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of crazy things. So even with that, we really preface that to say, like, we don't know what's going on, but it's an interesting thing. But like for you the assistant principal now, right? You was a PE teacher.
Yeah.
There's more time involved in the assistant principal, right? Because I know, I used to tell my kids, when I was doing PE, at 7 o'clock when I got there for lunch duty, and breakfast duty in the morning, hey, what's good? It'd be 3 o'clock because I used to get to leave right at 3 because I had to get out of here. They'd be like, I'll be walking to the car and they'd be like, Coach Patterson. I'll be like, I don't know you. So it's from 7 to 3. I don't know nobody on this campus before or after.
Yeah.
But I know now you had that job. He was better than me. He did. He was my OG. He had done it for way longer than me, so he was better than me. So he was at the end. He was putting in more time, right? I had already the exit plan. Now I killed it when I was there, but when that day ended, I got to go to what I love, the passion, right? So for you, it's more time. So at some point, you're trying to become a principal, right?
Yeah,
so then there's even more time. What does that conversation look like? Hey, you know, it was all good when we were kicking it more when you were just a PE teacher. You didn't have no stress. You weren't stressed out as much. Why don't you just go back and be a PE teacher? Like, what does that look like for you? Because right now, that's more of a realistic thing for us, because once you get to that job that we know you'll get to one day, it becomes more. How does that go in your mind? Hopefully it never gets to that, but like, how does that go to your mind?
Well, we talked about compromise first. Second on the list is always communication, right? And so I think the biggest thing that you have to do with your spouse is communicate and talk. So she knows what my goals are. I know what her goals are. I know what she wants to accomplish. She knows what I want to accomplish. And so we knew going in, hey, she knows me. Like, once my mind is set and I'm trying to achieve something, I'm going 0 to 100. Like, I'm gonna put in the long hours and put the time in. That's just how I am. And so now, oh yeah, definitely. So my son, his school is 2 minutes away from mine. There's nobody but God that set that up. Yeah. So when I pick him up, we don't go home. We go right back to the office. And I'm still working on stuff. And so I feel bad about it, but there are times that I'm still at the office working on stuff until 8 o'clock at night. Yeah. So, I mean, it is a grind. And my wife does say, hey, like, you know, you get home late. Has he eaten? Has he, you know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to make sure. I'm going to be an A1 parent, but at the same time, career-wise as well. And I look at it from the standpoint, I'm going to grind until I get to where I have to be, to where I become ambitiously lazy. You know what I'm saying? To where I can sit down, you know what I'm saying, and I can enjoy the fruits. But right now, it's grind time. Now, Brady's grind time is totally different. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't grind it like
he doesn't accomplish everything 7 times over.
Exactly. And so it's a communication thing, and I think it's a give and take thing. So when I do have those off days, bro, I got a point system in my house. It's mentally, it's not us talking about it. I know for a fact, all right, if I want to come to the podcast and see with y'all, what I got to do? I gotta wash the clothes. I gotta put the clothes up. I gotta wash the. Gotta make sure.
Kind of like when we was kids, so you want to go start out. Hey, like, you better do that.
I gotta check out every box. You know what
I
I'm
can't
saying?
go do the podcast and leave the clothes
Exactly.
out, keep dishes is dirty,
Exactly.
and I might do some of them. We might have some chores that she do, and I do some stuff.
Right.
I take out the trash. She might wash her clothes and do the dishes. I'm gonna do the dishes and wash her clothes,
Right.
just so she can't say, "Oh, you
Exactly.
on and kicking it, and
Yep.
you leaving me here to do." Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's how it should be.
And it's a team. Both people have to support what the other person is trying to do. And like you said, we don't know what the communication was beforehand. If the communication was, hey, the year before, hey, this is my last year, I'm gonna hang it up, blah, 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 I'm gonna go ahead and be home with the kids. If she's thinking one thing and then he hits the 180 and she's, expecting something and then it's switched totally, yeah, it's gonna cause an argument for anybody. It's gonna cause a discord for anybody. I don't know if it's cause for divorce,
Right.
but
It's communication.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Cause for communication. That's it.
Yeah, I remember even like when my lady was trying to get down here, Maria was trying to get down here for well, before that even happened, when we were in college. She was like, I gotta do dental school, so she was gonna be a dentist, right? So we did undergrad, then she had to do her dental school. So I knew she'd have to either go to Kansas City, which she ended up doing, or somewhere else. I knew I was gonna be done at KU and come back to Dallas. And I was like, hey, this is the deal for me. You're gonna go do dental school, cool. I'm gonna come back to Dallas. You do your dental school, I'll work or do whatever I was trying to do, figuring out what I was trying to do. Then you have a year of residency. After the year of residency, you sit there and now you gotta make a decision. So when the year of residency came, it was, hey, do I get a job in Kansas City where I got some connections down there? And I said, I 100% understand that. That's what you do. I said, but check this out. I've done my research. We're in Dallas. A lot of young millennials are down here. It's higher paying. It's a better economy down here. Woo, woo, woo. I said, but I understand you got family there. You got resources there. I'm down here. This is my thing. Like we talked about in Kansas before. I will never stop you from doing anything you want to do. It's just like I want you to know I will never stop doing something I want to do to be with you.
Yep.
That's just straight up. Like because there's resentment there, and we're gonna break up anyway, and then I mess up on that. So I literally say, hey, check this out. Figure out what you want to do. You can come to Dallas. You can stay in Kansas City. You stay in Kansas City. We've been together since freshman year, so that's 3.5 plus 5. Been there 8 years. We've been together. You get a job in Kansas City, we just gotta be done. And that's how I was like, because you're not gonna start a career as a dentist and be doing good and then be like, oh, I built something in 3 years and now I'm gonna move. Just like I'm not gonna build up TRPT and then quit after I can't be making $500,000 or $50,000 doing whatever and just be like, I built this over the last 5 years and now I'm gonna just quit and start it over. So that was but that was known going in. Hey, there's no hard feelings. I don't want you to do anything that's not going to benefit you in your life and you want it to do. If that's where you feel you got to be. So when it was coming down to the back and forth about that, it was like, no, I'm going to decide, and ended up coming down here. But there was no true pressure at all for me because I was like, no, I understand. That's this and that. I want you to be where you feel you need to be at. And that was my big thing is like, the communication was there before we left college. Hey, I know you gonna go there. I'm going to Dallas. Then you got to do your years there. Then you got to do a residency, and then after that, the decision has to be made.
Communication and
then boom, 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 cool. Moved down here. Been down here ever since. But that was a big thing. It was like I know what your passion is. I know what you want to do, but that was the thing, right? Communication, compromise, we got it done, and now we sitting in the dental office.
Yes, and I think that's where, and I know we getting on relations, I think that's where a lot of times people in marriages and people in relationships, you don't have to lose who you are in that relationship. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to.
Because when you do, it ain't going to work anyway.
It ain't going to work.
It ain't going to work
You
anyway.
always resent that person. Always.
Okay, we'll get back to some ball. We'll get back to some ball. But I feel like that's needed anyway. I feel like all we do is talk ball anyway, so we have these conversations with our eyes closed, right? So those are just good things to not only just talk about and see your perspective, my perspective, but just be well-rounded as men, so we need to talk about that anyway.
That's good stuff.
But a big one right here, the concussions. Tua. I know personally, like I said, I even told the story about it on the IG. and Tobin probably even remember it. We're playing K-State, freezing out there. I get swiped, and it hits the ground. I get the concussion. Go through the week. Got the yellow jersey the whole time on, so I can't get hit because I haven't passed concussion protocol. Remember Oklahoma State, they punted, the ball gets popped up into the air when it's rolling to me. I get hit helmet to helmet, get another one. Well, the reason that happens is while I'm going through the protocol, not passing the test, come in Saturday morning, hey, did I pass the test? And yesterday, Friday, to play later today. I get that response back of, hey, you know, you could have slipped in the tub or tripped getting out of bed and got another concussion. So I looked and was like, so I guess I didn't pass and y'all want me to play. Like, go out there, boom. So guys get forced back all the time.
Soft pressure.
Right?
Yeah,
Without them saying it because they can't say it. But you know, you can give somebody a look. Right? Just that little, like, you know, hey,
How you feeling?
yeah, you good, you good. So, how do y'all feel about how the Dolphins handled that Tua situation? Like, and I'm talking about to the first one, when you see Buddy stumbling, and the fact that they talking about he had a back injury. Come on, bro. When have you ever seen somebody legs give out on a back injury?
I feel like I talked about this so much, and it was so plain to see. Like, it's on national TV. Everybody. You don't have to be a neurosurgeon to see that wasn't a back thing. He gets up, grabs his head, loses his footing. Obviously, he's woozy. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that they called it a back injury, even if it was a back injury, why would you put him back in? Because if he looked like that on a back injury, he don't need to be playing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's dangerous territory. And the thing that I think we all going to be in agreement on this topic, to be honest with you, but the thing that pissed me off was the people who had the nerve to blame Tua for playing. You know what I'm saying? You a young QB trying to make it do your thing.
He's a year away from generational wealth, bro.
You want to play. And
the bottom is $40 million, bro.
And as players, we don't know all there is to know about concussions. You know what I'm saying? So if the team tells me I got a back injury and I feel okay, because you can get a concussion and feel okay. And if they tell you it's a back injury, you gonna play. Yeah. Tua's not called to be the brain expert in that situation.
It's supposed to save the players from themselves.
Exactly.
That's why people throw the towel in on their body to save them from themselves.
I think the Dolphins failed Tua, and I wouldn't trust shit the Dolphins say anyway. To be honest with you, with that whole situation they had going with Flores last year, and I just don't trust the Dolphins as an organization. And I've seen from firsthand experience and just offhand experience, team sacrificing player health for team success.
Oh, 100%. Like,
it happens all the time.
I remember when I was balling at KU, I went and got my CAT scan and MRIs and all that. You know, that take for you, if you go right now, it's going to take you 3 days, 4 days to get it back to one day. You go play at a college, go play in the league, that mother coming back in 12 hours. It's coming back. Yeah. I remember when we did our exit interview, for my growing that I tore and all that and them first I'm still waiting on that. I graduated in 2012. I never got that. You are no use to me anymore. I ain't got to get you nothing. But when we need you to play on Saturday, you can go get that CAT scan Friday and have it back. Hey, boys is giving, as it's reading your brain, good. They telling you good. You ain't got to even get the paper out. They reading it to you as you're going.
And you know what else pissed me off about the situation was the fact that they initially came out and said they went through the protocol and they figured that it was a back injury. And then there was no reason he couldn't play the next week. And then after he gets hit 5 days later, and then it turns into an issue of why did I let him play again, although he had a concussion. And they say they did nothing wrong. But then they fired somebody.
So now I'm about to sue y'all.
So if you're saying this person was right in the call, but then you say he made mistakes along the way, those contradict each other. That's a problem to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody lying. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. And the Dolphins are pretty much using him as a scapegoat because they put that player back out there. Said that it was the right call, but then say he made mistakes and fired him. And also made sure to say that he was unaffiliated.
Make sure. And I think the biggest thing, I think the reason why Tua got blamed, they blamed the Dolphins, but I think the reason Tua took a little bit of heat was because they want you as the player to say, hey, nah, you know what, I'm not feeling good. But like you said,
he might feel all right.
Any player is going to want to play. Not only for myself, but I got teammates that's expecting me to play. We winning. They playing well at the time. I'm playing well at the time. I'm shooting for a contract. There's so many factors that, hey, even though I may be like, well, you know what? I know it's not smart or wise for me to play, but you know what? I gotta play. I gotta go out and show my guy. He's been known as being, I ain't gonna say exactly. He's been known as being He's injury prone. So you want to shake that label, and you're gonna get out there and show how tough you are.
Fred Taylor talks about it all the time. How it's still, you can tell on the pivot how it still affects him. That they used to call him Fragile Fred.
Fragile Fred. Yeah,
and this is after him being done. So when you're in it, you're like, bro, I'm about to show you.
I gotta play, and I think that the Dolphins did a horrible job of protecting him from himself. You know, exactly. I think if you ask any player, most players are gonna get out there and play. Des Bryant talks about it all the time. I got out there and I was playing hurt. I wasn't 100. I was out there playing hurt. It led to a decline in my play. And look, now people saying I'm not the same Des as that and the third. And it's like, I mean, you want to go out there and play.
To play football, you have to be an irrational person.
Yeah,
that's the mentality.
Like, you have to be irrational to run into somebody. Mind you, this is not boxing. Boxing is one thing, but there's weight classes. Mm-hmm. Football, there's only a couple people on the field. That's the biggest people on the field. Everybody else is taking a risk of getting hit by the biggest people on the field. And depending, like, if you're an offensive skill guy, most of the time, the people hitting you are going to be way bigger than you. Right? And even when you're the bigger guy, you're still running helmet to helmet. So you have to be irrational. You have to be a warrior. You've already went from literally 5 years old to 23 of 110-degree weather throwing up. You fine. Yeah. Arm bleeding. You're fine. Good. So why now have y'all made me play all these times but for this one different thing? Because, like, right, people play with broken hands. Ronnie Lott then cut off a finger. So it's like, okay, y'all make me play with things when I technically can't even use that anymore, right? A broken dang arm or hand or whatever. I can actually still play with the concussion. It might not be as good, or the concussion might be mild. So if I got to play through injuries where I can barely move, I can still move perfectly fine. Because Tua came back in that game and they won. Yeah. So that's another thing, right? So it wasn't like when he came back, he was wobbling and throwing picks. Yeah. So he's like, I'm playing, so why would I not play the next game if I fought through it initially that day? And that's where people got to realize when you embed, it's no different than when you brainwash somebody, bro. Right? It's like, of course, a person who's not brainwashed would leave when whoever captured them left the house. Yeah. But if I've been brainwashed for 10, 15, 20 years, they can leave that front door open. Yeah. And you're not going to go nowhere because you've been programmed. As a football player, I'm not going to be like, I physically feel fine, but I know concussions are bad. Hey, guys, have at it. Because you're not programmed that way. You being soft. You seeing guys, I remember at KU, AJ had food poisoning. Literally food poisoning. And the strength coach was like, just carry the trash can around with you and work out the whole time. We had dudes getting a wreck.
Seriously.
Yes, like, no, like, literally, you're sick. And ask him this. In KU, how many times, you played, 4 years, right? Because I had redshirted my last year. So I was there for 4.5, he was there for 4. How many times did you miss practice because you were sick?
Never.
How many players, mind you, there's 110 to 15 guys on the team, 4 years, plus another year added on. How many guys do you remember missing practice because they were sick? That's over 300 guys because these guys are rotating in and out.
Like, severely sick, maybe.
No, I'm talking about just like, I'm sick where you probably shouldn't be there, but like, I'm not talking about like DJ getting like cancer and I'm talking about like, sick where you shouldn't be. Like, if you was in school, in high school, your mama wouldn't let you go to school.
With the way society is right now with COVID and everything like that, like, people definitely should have taken time off for being sick, but it never happened.
No, like, literally, bro. Like, I can't name you guys that be like, we're at football practice. My boys are at football practice, and I got like a one-on-one fever. Like, boys is practicing with a fever, food poisoning, stomach, all of that, and that's what. So if you're literally telling me, hey, come to practice, do this, just go a little slower, but we need you here. Why would I, in this one situation, care about my health when y'all taught me not to care about it my whole life? Yeah. When you cry as a young boy, when you get tatted up, ow, stop crying, get up and go do it again. So now y'all want me, and a lot of those times we had concussions then and just didn't know it, right? That's why I'm out there crying. Especially when you're a kid that's been known to hit and everything. Yeah. It ain't just the ones that scared, so that's my biggest thing. Don't say nothing to it. He's been programmed, brainwashed to play through it all.
Play through it.
Because if you're not just most of the times it's hard to create that perfect warrior on the football field. So yeah, that's nothing to do with Tua.
Nah.
You can't brainwash somebody that they do
For
across
years.
the board
For
in
years.
football to play through everything from 5 all the way to however Tua is, and then be like, boy, why would he play?
Yeah.
Because that's all he knows.
That's all
Play
he
through.
knows.
As long as Tim Tebow played a game with a broke leg in high school.
Yep. Yeah.
Come on, bro. Like, that's what we know. So that Tua situation was sad. I hope he bounces back. And like I said, I always talk best in Tua just because I don't think he got a strong one. But I ain't got nothing wrong to say about it. The dude looks like a great person, right? He ain't got no off the field stuff that we know of. Like, you mess around with about that, but I want him to come back and do this. And like a lot of people like, this is another part of it. He should retire. Bro, my whole thing is, once again, this goes back past my body and everything else. If Tua makes it through this season and plays another season, even not playing good, his bottom line is $40 million.
Yes.
And that's gonna be on a 4 or 5 year contract, $40 million with 120 guaranteed.
Exactly.
I gotta risk it, bro. like that's the thing. Like, where else am I gonna get
Think
120
about that
million?
mentality and that pressure you got to put in yourself to do that, though.
Yeah.
Right.
I got to
got
risk
to.
it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
right. And that's the thing. I already know, like, cause you're thinking about you're thinking about how can I make another 120 million.
Yes.
Guaranteed,
Right.
plus maybe 200 over
Yep,
5
over
years.
5 years.
When I got a little brother, my mama is poor, my daddy
Gotta
poor,
take
we all
care
come
of
from
everybody.
Hawaii. So I know what he's thinking. And they talking about retire. I was like, you go retire when you got $200 million in 5 years on the table.
I think he'll play again this season.
Yeah,
I think he
definitely.
will. I think he'll play
I think
again
so.
this season.
I think so.
Yeah, I think he needs to sit down for now. I think it's so much of an embarrassment for the organization that, of course, he'll sit down now for the next 3-4 weeks or whatever, I believe. But yeah, he'll be back. And I think that, it's bad that as much as we love football, I think the mentality around it when it comes to that man up type thing, it can be very toxic.
It is. It leads to a lot of bad things happening, not only on the football field or the basketball court, but just in life.
Yeah.
Just like say society. Like that we go back to the Brady just mentality of guys are like, dang, what is my use if I'm
What's
not
my
providing? I know I got the bread, but now I'm just sitting at home, I'm providing like that, but I'm not out going and eating. So like, right? So another one that we want to talk about, so get off of a serious topic to foolishness, AB, bro. Why, bro? Why this dude, like how, it's so crazy because we've had guys that done that, and I know guys personally that did that, but it's so crazy to see somebody be so amazing at something and within a year, 2 years, be so far down off the path. Like Shannon said, it's crazy because I'm not Shannon Sharp, but I'm doing a similar thing where I give opinions. People was trying to tell me I was crazy for saying AB is tripping, like how he's acting.
Yeah.
And like they want to give guys that they admire so many excuses,
Yeah.
right? Like, bro, you see he is acting irrationally, and the only thing then that will make these people that are on the AB bandwagon be like, wow, is when Buddy hurts himself or hurts somebody severely. Like all this stuff he doing with Brady, people were still like, Brady didn't do nothing for AB. Like even when we was in a group chat, Brady, GB was like, maybe AB sees that he solidified Brady's career, and I was like, AB didn't have a job.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted him. He had no rings.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brady had 6 already. Like he let you live in the crib. Like I understand what you're saying, but that's not a really rational.
Nah.
Like they could have won the Super Bowl without AB. Was he a help? Yes, but he didn't play 16 games and have 1,500 yards for season receiving. He helped, but that's the thing. Like, how do you even come to that conclusion of being on his side when this man let you live in the crib, got you the house, and now you talking about my wife and our situation? Like, how do you get to that point as a person that was right here as AB?
I think that who you are comes out. No matter how much money you got, no matter what you got going, who you are is always going to come out. And so I feel like money only accentuates that. And so I feel like he was allowed to obviously do certain things in Pittsburgh. He was allowed to kind of get away with certain things. And I think it morphed into him being, and then on top of that, you cold. Like he was
Stupid
easily
cold.
easily top 2, top 3 receiver in his prime. You know what I'm saying? And even with Tampa Bay, he was a monster. Like when you really look at it, he still was a monster. So it's like you look at it and you look at who he was, right? Not only am I balling, but because he's balling, you can look away from some of the things that he's doing. Like, hey, you know what? AB may be kind of crazy, but he balling. We're going to let him make it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to let him make it on this, going to let him make it on that. And I think that then once you begin to kind of change teams and then people start talking and the word gets out, you know, the word gets out on what you're doing or whatever. And then we see, well, you know what? Is he more trouble than what he's worth?
Yeah.
And now with him not being on the team, now he's rapping or whatever. Now you're becoming known for your theatrics instead of what you do on the field. And so now all the stuff he's doing now, people forget how dominant he was on the field. Like,
It's crazy because if AB stays at it, he's the first ballot Hall of Famer.
Easily.
Now he'll never get in. There's no chance he'll get in. Zero chance.
See, and that's the thing.
Zero chance.
I
Because
think he gets in.
You want me to tell you why I know he won't get in?
I think he gets
Because
in.
the simple fact, you make a T.O. wait 4 years, there's no way you let AB. T.O. retired at almost number 2 at every position on stat.
And they made him wait. Yeah.
For doing nothing.
Yeah.
AB done did criminal stuff.
Yeah.
AB done
Yeah.
called GM's crackers.
Yeah.
He done quit in the middle of the team. Like, his stuff is truly off the field issues of criminal, not even just personalities of locker room distractions. And they treated T.O. like he did with that. Chris Carter took forever to get in.
Yes.
There's no way AB gets in.
I think here's why I think he gets in. I think later on, and I think it's gonna take him a while. Sometimes you gotta hit rock bottom, right? To start apologizing. And he's a prideful cat. But we've seen AB apologize. We've seen AB do certain things. I think later on he apologizes. He admits to being crazy, he admits to doing wrong, he admits to so many things to where people are gonna be like, if we look at totality, what he was on the field, right? If we look at what he did on the field, we know that nothing should keep him out.
Let me tell you, the only problem with that is the people that vote on the Hall of Fame aren't guys that were as successful as AB. So their feelings and their egos won't allow them to put that to the side. Because of the fact of that is, if that was true, T.O. wouldn't have waited 4 times, right? So therefore, that was the thing, is like, that's always the thing. Like, why are these guys Hall of Fame voters?
Yeah.
Why is this writer that has a grudge against me? Like, think about it. T.O. literally be like, and I understand, like, it's so crazy because I had the whole little thing with T.O. on here, my guy's supposed to race and all that.
Yeah.
We actually argued for like a week straight about what we talked about because some of the things didn't go right. So, but I still, regardless of that, I still like T.O., right? And they did him bad.
So bad.
But he's still like, bro, why when AB situation come up, I take offense to y'all, put my name with him.
Bro, we hooping. Like, we hooping, and that's all you do is talk. You do that, that's one of your greatest attributes. You know what I'm saying? You talk, get people out their game. You know what I'm saying? And so for you to respond like that, and he hit that, when you watch the video, he hit that cat like that's somebody off the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a random dude.
Jumped into him.
Yes, and then
like,
caught him afterwards. Like
anything, like if you just trying to do something, you just gonna push and just quick little slap or like kind of like a step back, like pop, like no, you was trying to hurt that man. So that's just the biggest thing is I was like, bro, don't try and equate this to fights happen all the time. In sports, not those, no, bro. That was a sucker punch. It's like, how is that a sucker punch? He was standing there. I said, because a sucker punch isn't not that you don't see somebody. A sucker punch basically is an unexpected punch.
Exactly.
Well, he pushed him. Why wouldn't he expect it? One, because he was not pushing him to fight. Bro, they're like, he pushed him. It's like, bro, I was like, once again, y'all don't know what you're talking about. If this was in the court of law, Draymond Green would be, regardless if Poole, like say you change it. Draymond walks 10 yards over, puts his body on him, Poole hits him, Poole's in the right. Draymond Green walks over, Poole pushes him, Draymond Green hits him, Poole is still in the right. Draymond Green is wrong in the court of law and on a team. So like that's bro. I'm like, come on, bro. Like what was he supposed to do?
Apologizing.
No, I'm like that. I was like, what's he supposed to do? He's like, he pushed him. I said, so once Draymond walked 10 yards over, put his body on him, sort of backing him down, was he supposed to say, excuse me, Mr. Green, I don't want to fight you. Could you please back up? And no point in the real world would that happen. So I said, so what was he supposed to do? He pushed him off, and he basically pushed him off and kind of was like, kind of standing there with the side on, like, really? dirty, bro.
Yeah.
And then like another thing, which we'll end on, they say Poole should have had the space and been ready. I was like, but check this out. I understand that, but you can probably see Draymond walk up on plenty of people in practice and this. You're not expecting that. And then I was actually super happy when Brandon Jennings came out with the story that Draymond, Drake, LeBron, and Tristan Thompson was at the club, and Tristan Thompson slapped the mess out of Draymond, and he stood there and looked.
Yeah.
You had all the right to fight him while you ain't fight Tristan.
Right.
Oh, because he 4 inches taller than you.
Yes,
He bigger than you. And it might not get broken up in the same type of way and there ain't no sneak. So that's my whole thing. Draymond, if they would have told me Tristan slapped you and you body slammed that man, if I would have seen you swing on anybody else in the league, you only talk today. So Poole's like, oh, this Draymond, all he do is talk. He ain't swung on nobody yet.
Exactly.
So that's my thing.
And I do think, and some people say it didn't, I feel like it did. The video does make it worse.
Oh,
the
100%.
reason why,
Like Ray Rice stuff.
yes,
Ray Rice.
it makes it worse because then you do start thinking about, all right, me and that man, right? Even in a marriage, me and my wife, although we may have certain things that we need to talk about, discuss, or whatever, we can hash that out one-on-one. But then you tell your family members what's going on.
Exactly.
Your family's always going to take your side in most cases, and your family's going to look at that person differently. Now that we see this on video, no matter how much Draymond apologizes, Poole's girl, family, everybody's looking at Draymond like, nah, bro, it's like,
And just
ain't nothing you
continue.
can do. There's nothing you can do to come back.
That's an awkward dynamic.
It's an awkward dynamic.
And you made it bad on Poole, right? Because now as soon as you know, especially once it blows over, as soon as he get on you, you ain't say that shit today.
You got slipped.
Just like how Reggie Bush was talking about, like when he was on the team when he was dating Kim K. Anytime an argument came up, I go look at your girl on the internet. Right? That was things. So you put Draymond, on Poole in a bad situation. For the rest of his career, really, like it's always gonna be.
People can talk trash about him on the court, all that kind of stuff. So now he has to put up with a lot more than he probably. People talk anyway on the court. It's different now. You know, your man.
And Cat's gonna try to try me.
Exactly.
The video definitely made it worse because when it came out, it was an altercation.
Yes.
No, and they tried to play it down.
They tried to play it down
To me,
First it came out there, she was like, Draymond hit him. And then they tried to narrow it down, play it down. It was like, oh, it was just an altercation, nothing big. And then that came out, no, that's big. That was Draymond going crazy on that man right there. So But like I said, we can go for hours and hours and hours. That's why I love having T.O. here, my boy Devin here. Man, we appreciate y'all for watching. We went all the way around the world with it, and we'll probably do another one this week 6. So let's probably get back together about week 12 after another 6 weeks because the NFL will, everything we talked about will probably be like, dang, we was really thinking Josh Allen was gonna win MVP, and the Cowboys was looking good. They done lost 5, whatever it may be. Things, I don't like them boys. You got to throw them under the bus. But yeah, man, we appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the alert button, and that's another episode of Listen to DP. We out.
appreciate you, my boy. Man.